Hello everyone, Ziggler here, Bork, chef, you can call me whatever you'd like. So today I wanted to do like a reaction video from Solheim Gaming. And the title is My Biggest Problem with the Classic WoW and Fresh Classic WoW servers. And the reason why I want to like react to him is that I value his opinion. I got all his guides and I've been following him on just like both YouTube and Twitch and everything. And yeah, I just value what he says, and in my opinion, he gives like very good like insight, and I really like his take on things. So I just wanted to hear what he has to say with the problems, basically, because that's like very nice to know. So let's see.
What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another Classic WoW video for the Fresh Classic WoW servers. Now for today's video I just want to start off by saying that I'm having an absolute blast playing on the Fresh Classic WoW servers. I'm
That's
playing
good.
both on the PvE server and the Hardcore server in Europe, and I'm having a really good time. Leveling alts, doing some endgame dungeons. I haven't really done the raid yet, don't really have a raiding guild either, but I'm having a really good time just leveling my characters and doing some high level dungeons on my mage, my warrior, and we're getting to some mid level dungeons on the hardcore shaman as well, and overall I'm just having a good time.
That's great.
Now, I think it's important to start the video on that note and on a very positive note, because I will be talking about something that I don't like about, well, the Fresh Classic WoW servers, but also Classic WoW in general, and it's something that I have really seen take off ever since Classic WoW came out. It's gotten more and more popular, basically every single Fresh. So Classic WoW, Season of Mastery, Season of Discovery, now we have Fresh Classic WoW as well. It is getting increasingly popular every time we see a fresh launch, and that is reserve culture. Now, first of all, we're going to take a look at this Reddit post right here, and
yes, I agree. In my opinion, I really miss the days when it was like just main spec, off spec, or whatever within the guild. I 100% agree with this, because whenever you're doing anything and it's like, oh, here's the SOT reserve, it's like, because it's like, for me as playing a tank, or like if you're playing a DPS, or if you're playing like a healer, it's kind of annoying. At least I don't know how it is as a DPS or a tank or a healer, but like if you're a tank, if it drops defense gear, why the hell does someone else drops like this reserve it? Like, sure, it's like obviously you want to maybe like start building up your gear to be able to raid as a tank, but in my opinion, it's like if you're raiding with a guild, with a specific group, for example, like gear up your main tank and off tank first, and then you're able to like get it. Because if you sign up as a DPS, you should try and get the DPS things first. Because yeah, ever since the launch of this, like with the hard reserve and everything, it's yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
read a little bit about this and the comments. I will also talk about my experience with this, because I've been experiencing this quite a lot myself, both on the hardcore server and the regular PvE server as well. So let's talk about the headline here. HR hard reserve culture is ruining the pre-abyss grind experience, and I'm just gonna say it's ruining way more than just the pre-abyss grind experience. It's ruining the entire game for a lot of people, like even myself. It's definitely tarnishing the entire game. So many people with the main character syndrome who want to run UBRS, it is mostly just rend runs with both swords and Fellow Striker reserved. Want to join a Strat UD group? Oh yeah, every group has the Cape from Baron, HR. Oh yeah, don't even get me started on BRD groups. Exactly, people are running dungeons for 1 or 2 pieces of loot, which is what everyone needs by the way, and then they are hard reserving what they need. So you have UBRS, very like popular example here, like both the swords and Fellow Striker is pretty much always reserved. It's either like actually both swords and Fellow Striker, or it's either both swords or Fellow Striker. I don't think I've ever seen a UBRS run where one of these has not been reserved.
True. And another thing that I find it kind of silly that you reserve is the righteous orb when you're doing Stratholm. It's like it's, what is it, like 70 gold, but like let's say it's 100 gold. Sure, like for a lot of people 100 gold is a lot, but I mean, just keep playing the game and look up guides or whatever on how to make some gold, and then you can buy it rather than like doing this, because it ruins it like ruins everything.
And if we scroll further down in this post, we can see this comment. My buddy was wanting to hard reserve the Helm from SM Armory for me, and I was like, dude, if somebody needs it, roll need. It's easy. Don't need to reserve lower level dungeons for stuff they'll replace in 5 levels. And they
Oh my god! The head from Armory? The Scarlet Head? Really? Damn. Oh my god, really? What was that? Like a level 35 dungeon? Reserving? Really? It's not that great of an upgrade. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It does not.
a comment further up talks about reserving loot from dead mines, like guys.
Dead mice.
Now, to further echo that last part right there, whenever I'm playing on the hardcore servers, this is not something that is uncommon to see people are reserving. Even on the PvE server, when the servers came out, a lot of people on the Alliance side, they were doing dead mines and hard reserving, for example, Cruel Barb. People really want to get their weapons from even dead mines, so they will hard reserve those Cruel Barbs. And this is something I saw a lot at the launch of the regular service, even on PvE. People went in, LFM, dead mines,
Cruel Barb.
Cruel Barb H hard.
Really?
Or, alternatively, they never invited anyone who could lead on Cruel Barb. So you would see a warrior being the tank, he would invite like a healer and 2 casters, and just go full caster group, and then that way he is basically reserving Cruel Barb, without actually reserving Cruel Barb.
Well, okay, in my opinion, like, I don't like the reserve. I do not, but it's like I've done this. I'm guilty of this because I've been a tank, but not in lower dungeons. That's where I don't really care. But let's say there's an item that is like very great for tanks, for example. Let's say it's the shield from what's it called, like Ramstein from Stratholm. He drops the like shield that when you block it deals damage back. That's just an example. Let's say that there's like that item and you really want it and you don't want to risk that anyone else can like need it. Then I think it's perfectly fine if you are the one making the group, because then you can be like, well, I just want to play with, I don't know, mages and a healer or like a warlock, just because for the more AoE. Like you can have a reason why it's like reserved in a sense, but I mean, it's up to you. But like the actual hard reserve is stupid. It really is.
And having played hardcore recently, especially on the Horde side, it's something that I see a lot in RFK. If you go to Resurfing Crowd and you go to Overlord Ramtusk, he can drop a very good axe called Corpse Maker, and I see warriors all the time looking for more RFK, axe reserved, or as they like to say, axe is locked, so you can't roll on it, or whatever. They find a way to hard reserve this axe for themselves. It's a great axe. But it's just like the whole culture of whatever loot you need, you hard reserve every single time. It has gotten to a point where I just find it cringe, and it's happening way too often. It is like dead mines, you have RFK, you have the Scarlet Monastery, like an armory, you go over here. Like, some of these items at some point are reserved on both Alliance and Horde. People are reserving items all the time, and I'm so bored. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah, I really agree, because like sure, like I mentioned before, you can make a group like that, like the one that I mentioned, that no one else can make it, but it's still is like it's not like I'm gonna be mad or anything. Like, let's say the because like I've lost the hand of justice from Blackrock Depths a lot of times before I got it, but instead of being like mad about it, it's like, well, grats, it's a really great upgrade for you, even though they're like, I don't know, shit as a person towards people during the whole run. It's still like in the end of the day, it's like, well, great job. It's better to have a positive attitude about it. But yeah, I totally agree. I had no idea that he was gonna talk about this. Oh my god.
And it's like, even right now as I'm recording this video, if you go to the
Really?
chat right here, there was one person looking for more for Ubers right now, literally right here. LFM tank and DPS for Jed and red ones. Main hand hard reserved, going as 6 out of 7. Even right now as I'm recording, people are hard reserving. And just a couple of minutes ago, somebody was hard reserving loot from Molten Core in a trash run. They were looking for people for trash runs in Molten Core to farm rep, and they were hard reserving basically everything. You go to Molten Core to farm rep, right? Molten Core just came out, so a lot of people are farming rep right now. And from the trash, you can actually get some loot. If you go over here and we take a look at normal, and actually we can't see the trash loot here, it looks like, but basically the trash can drop BOE items, can drop recipes, can...
I think he actually can see it if he presses this one, the Molten Core, because it's not like these are the bosses and this is the actual. I think it's because usually it's down here, but for some reason sometimes it could be like this one. It could be the name of the dungeon.
Drop like materials, and can drop a lot of good things, and can also even drop certain tier pieces that can, I think some of those are BOE as well, but basically what I see here is people are looking for more Molten Core trash.
Yeah, that's actually true, because in there you can drop the, what is it, like bracers and gloves, no, bracers and belts, that is BOE in classic.
Farming, BOEs are hard reserved, recipes are hard reserved, materials are hard reserved, basically everything is hard reserved, and then they are looking for people to just come and help them farm their materials. People are treating Molten Core as a gold farm, where they go in, like, usually, it's not even a...
That's actually true. Hey, come in, guys, come in here. You're gonna get some rep, come on. You're gonna, get in here. Like, oh, what are we gonna do? You're gonna farm gold for me. That's a good take, Solheim, really. Damn.
A guild reserving, by the way. It is one person making the group and reserving everything for himself, using it as an actual gold farm. If it's a guild, sometimes that does make sense, like they want to have materials for the guild and stuff, but in that case, just run the raid. You will get a bunch of materials from doing the raid. But in a lot of these regular trash farm groups that I've joined myself, it is one person, there's nobody's in the same guild basically, and the leader either is guildless or is the only person from his guild there, so he's making the group and reserving everything for himself. And I mean, speaking of Molten Core, yesterday I saw a guild that tried to take advantage of people being guildless and desperate to raid. So they were saying, looking for more Molten Core semi-guild run, 30 out of 40 in the same guild, and looking for 10 pugs to just fill the last 10 slots. And they had hard reserved a couple of specific weapons, like basically Bone Reaver's Edge and Perdition's Blade, and every single tier set piece, like the regular tier sets, right? Every single tier set piece was reserved for the guild, and those two weapons from Molten Core was also reserved for the guild. So, I mean, hard reserving one or two items could make sense, but even then I think it's cringe. And then they start hard reserving all of the tier items as well, just basically giving the leftovers to those...
Here, have some scrumbles. Have some scrumbles. And like in some of those runs, it could be like, okay, I'm like, am I gonna spend 4 hours, really? And, or like some runs, can actually be that long. I've been there. But Jesus, the whole thing is like, yeah, have some scrumbles. It's like you're eating a big cheesy piece of, well, not cheesy, but like a very big piece of bread, and you're chewing on it, and then be like, oh, come here, you can have some. But you're not gonna have a lot of it. You can have the small ones that is like dripping from my mouth onto the floor. You're welcome to eat that, but you can have some, but that's the only thing that you can have.
pugs, or allowing the pugs to roll on the leftovers. Like, personally, this is something that I don't think I've talked about on this channel before, but it's something that has gotten more and more out of hand every single fresh, and now this fresh, it's gotten to the point where I just have to talk about it and let my frustrations out, because I see it everywhere. Like, even when I'm leveling in the PvE server, I see people harder serving Cruel Barb from Dead Mines. On the hardcore server, I feel like it's even more on the hardcore server, because the upgrades matter more, and you can also only do the dungeons.
Yeah, that makes sense though. Like, I'm not saying that like that makes it more okay, but I understand why people reserve it more in hardcore. It's like, because it's such a huge upgrade for them, but at the same time, it could be like just a shit, like, well, not a shit one, sorry, but like a player that isn't that great, but could be like, I'm gonna reserve let's say it's a corpse maker, and they get it, and then they're not that great, and they don't have axe skill, and then they're gonna be like, I'm gonna be so great now, and then they forget about the axe skill, and they charge in, and they die with it instantly. That I'm positive that has happened in hardcore, 100%
once per day. So on the hardcore server, like both on the old ones and the new fresh ones, I see this happen a lot while leveling. People do LFM for the dungeon, and they hard reserve whatever they need, usually a weapon, right, for the weapon upgrades, and it happens so often. Even like not just at level 60. It's not just a problem at level 60 anymore, it's a huge problem while leveling as well. And you also have the whole thing where people are reserving without reserving. I mentioned this just a little bit ago, like a tank, for example. If you're a warrior tank, you only join the group if you're the only warrior in the group. And for example, in Dead Mines, you would only join if you are the only person that can use Cruel Barb. That way nobody else rolls against you. So you would invite a priest, for example, as the healer. You would have 2 mages and a warlock, or something like that. Maybe.
See, I'm not the only one. But like, I'm not saying that he has done it, but like, he's mentioning the same thing, pretty much. But yeah.
A druid, because druids can't use swords, right? So something like that. You would make sure that you are the only person rolling on the item that you want. So you're reserving something without reserving something. That is the other part of the hard reserve culture as well.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my rant on the hard reserve culture happening in Classic WoW. Might be a whole nothing burger to some of you guys, but let me know your thoughts on hard reserves in the comments down below. Do you dislike them? Do you actually like them? Or do you just not care? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And while you're down there, check out the pinned comment to get the gold making guide as well. If you want to make more gold on the Fresh Classic WoW servers. I talked way more about farming gold, making gold, crafting for gold, and even investing as well. So taking the gold you have and investing it into items to get more gold back. Now, the link to that is down below in the pinned comment. Either way, thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you again in the next video very soon.
This is a very good video, Solheim. Really, bravo. You're discussing a subject that like I've been thinking of, but not like I'm not gonna cover it. So I'm very happy that you did it. Great job, very great video. Yeah, just make sure to like follow him, like this video. I'm gonna link the video in the bottom of the description, and link to his page. Like, he's very I really like him, like his point on things. It really is. And consider his guides. Like, I'm not sponsored or anything by him. I just say this because I use them myself. I actually do. And yeah, he's been awesome. So yeah, until next time. Bye bye.